Okay. Whoa. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm the Bearded Techie, and today I've got another video coming at you. So this is my first video for, gosh, the entire summer pretty much. The last video I did was a breakdown and a review of the Asus Zephyrus G15, which is a gaming laptop. It's got the AMD 4800HS 8-core 16-thread processor and the NVIDIA 2060 Max-Q graphics card. Yeah, it's a great laptop. I really like it. I'm glad I've got it. If you guys want to see that video, go ahead and go check it out. I really appreciate that. It gives a pretty detailed breakdown of the different features of the laptop, and as well as a modification I made to the laptop to help it perform a little bit better. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into what I'm doing today. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a kitted out home server. So this is a basic home server, but I wanted to give it some basic bells and whistles. This is a server that I'm using to store all the backups from my computers here in my home. So the file history and the backups for my desktop, my laptop, my wife's desktop, my wife's laptop. And it is also going to be functioning as a Plex home media server. And I wanted to make sure that I had the ability to do hardware encoding and decoding. So I went ahead and got a 1060 3 gig to serve that purpose. And it's got an i5 8600K. I got two 10 terabyte 3.5 inch drives and two 4 terabyte 2.5 inch drives. And the reason I went with this selection was because this case and the case I had previous didn't have room for more than two 3.5 inch drives. So I had to resort to going with 2.5 inch drives, and these were the largest capacity 2.5 inch drives that I could find within a reasonable price. So I got two 4 terabyte 2.5 inch drives, and each drive is mirrored. I'm doing RAID 1, I'm not doing RAID 5 or RAID 6, just because I don't have enough drives to really facilitate those RAID protocols. So anywho, let's go ahead and get into the build. I'm going to start putting this thing together and kind of walking through what each thing is and why I'm using it. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, I've gone ahead and pre-installed our CPU here. This is the i5 8600K. I've also gone ahead and pre-installed the 1 terabyte M.2 here. This is an NVMe drive for the home drive. This is going to be the C drive where the operating system is installed. And on the back here, I've pre-installed a second M.2 NVMe drive. And this is a 256 gig drive. This is going to be used primarily for Plex data, such as the transcoding cache folder, as well as the metadata folder. And this will also be a place where Plex can store all the information regarding like the thumbnails for video and so on and so forth, all the artwork and everything that has to do with my movie collection, my music collection, that is metadata related or cache related will go on this drive here. Now we're going to go ahead and install the RAM. This is G.SKILL Ripjaws. These is a 32 gig kit, so 16 gigs per stick, and it is 3200 megahertz speed. Now I recommend going at least 32 gigs for the server. Things like Plex do tend to be a little bit RAM hungry, and as well as programs like file history or my backup program, and some of the other network based programs that I'm going to be running can get RAM hungry. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pre-install the block for the CPU. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. Okay, I've gone ahead and I've pre-installed the water block here. And now the next thing I'm going to do is install the motherboard into the case. I've also installed the heatsink here on the M.2. So with that out of the way, we're ready to install the motherboard into the case, and then we can start installing our drives, our cabling, and everything else. Let's go ahead and get the motherboard installed now. Okay, next up I'm going to be installing the radiator in the top mount here. Okay, so I've got the power supply in, and as you can see, this case here was designed primarily for mini ATX or MATX motherboards and power supplies. You can see here that this SFX power supply has a substantial gap here. I was only able to get 2 screws in. I may come back at a later date and put in a different power supply. And up here you can see this is where the drives go, and I'm going to start putting in drives now. I've actually already got my CPU power cable in over here at the top right. I've got the 24-pin connector in over here, and I've got the 6-pin connector here ready to go for the graphics card once I get it in. I've also got the front panel I/O stuff taken care of as well. And there was a screw missing in the heatsink of the M.2, and I got that in. So let's go ahead and get these drives in. I hear you. I hear you guys talking. It's a mess. But, like I said, I've seen worse, and I'm not too worried about it. I know where everything's going. I have things bundled where I could bundle them, and I'm just going to keep moving forward with the build. So, let's go ahead and get to the next part, which is the graphics card. Now I think we can move on to the next step, which is to install the last 2 fans, which are going to go right down here, that are just going to go down here just to act as exhaust. And I know it's not traditional to have exhaust fans on the bottom of the case, but maybe the top of the case instead. But I really wanted the radiator to be sucking in fresh air, so let's go ahead and just keep going. Okay, so I got those last couple things done. I got those two fans in and I put her back together. As you can see, it's up and running and everything's working just wonderfully. I'm going to go ahead and get this put where I want it to go, and I'm going to start configuring the different file sharing options in Windows Server 2019, which is the operating system I've chosen for this build. I did use Ubuntu for a short amount of time previously in my last server build, but I had a lot of issues with network discovery between my Windows devices and the server, so I opted to use Windows Server 2019, which is a great server solution if you have the money to pay for it, or if you are a student. And hopefully some of you out there can take advantage of this. If you are a student in college and have a .edu email address, you can definitely sign up with Microsoft Azure and utilize your student status to get access to a software library that they have. And they have versions of Windows, Windows Server, and other various programs that you can get for free, 100% for free. So I got Windows Server 2019 Datacenter Edition, which is traditionally like a $1,500 license for nothing because of Microsoft Azure. So thanks for everything, Microsoft. Appreciate that little bonus there. I mean, considering I have invested a lot of money into your company. But let's go ahead and I think next week's video I'm going to go ahead and just do a brief rundown on how to set up a couple different file shares in Windows Server 2019 and how to set up a your Plex server, and as well as how to change where your cache folder is set and where your metadata is stored in Plex. It might not be next week actually, because I am trying to slow down my videos so I can produce more quality content and so I don't get burned out. But it might be next week or the week after that. I'll come out with a video on how to configure your file sharing options and your folder sharing options, your drive sharing options, what have you, in Windows Server 2019. So that you can configure it to be a backup server as well as a Plex media server. So yeah, thanks for coming along for this little journey. I know it was pretty simple, but it was fun for me. I hope it was fun for you. I appreciate you guys coming around. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Every subscriber helps, and I appreciate every one of you guys for coming to my channel and watching my videos. They're fun for me to make, and it's even funner for me to know that there are people out there really watching them. So thanks for that. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, hit that thumbs down button. Go ahead, be my guest. Smash that thumbs down button if you want to. But yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, things you want to know about the server, things you want to know about the hardware, the software, whatever, leave it in the comments below and I will respond quickly and respectfully. All right, guys, that's it for me. Bearded Techie, signing out.